Yeah. First, I just would like to thank the Big Ten Network, the Big Ten Conference, just for the special day that we've had today. Just like last year, we definitely feel like queens up here and just celebrated. And so we just appreciate everything that you've done for us. Also want to thank the press for showing up today and for our sport. I think that says a lot about volleyball and where it's at today. But as you know, we're heading into our second season in the Big Ten and are excited to get going. Last year, competing in the nation's toughest volleyball conference pushed us to grow individually and as a team. It showed us new parts of the country and gave our players new experiences. With all that we learned last year, we are excited to start year 2. On the court, we're returning a strong core from our starting lineup last year, including Kierstyn Barton, Julia Hunt, Katie Wessels, all key contributors who helped carry us through the transition into the Big Ten. We've also added some exciting new players to this year's roster. Taylor Simpson, a grad transfer from Colorado, and Alexa Markley, a grad transfer from Penn State, and international outside hitter Simona Mateska from Belgrade, Serbia. We're thrilled that they're Huskies and excited to get them in the gym and in purple this week. And finally, I'm incredibly excited to welcome back a Husky legend, Krista Hendrickson, formerly known as Krista Van Sant, who has joined our coaching staff this summer. Krista knows this program inside and out, and her leadership and perspective will add so much to our team and culture. There's a lot to look forward to this season. We're committed to growing, competing, and representing Washington in the Big Ten Conference with pride. So with that, I'd like to open up.
All right, questions for the Huskies. Lincoln, thank you.
Lincoln Arneal, Huskies. Julia, how do you go about building on what you were able to accomplish last year in your freshman season?
I would just say, continue to be confident. Last year, I feel like, I played pretty good. I got my name out there, but it's time to just keep going. The journey never ends, and I'm trying to win a national championship. So even though I had a big year last year, I want my team to have a big year, so I want to continue to keep growing and keep getting better.
Coach, you mentioned in your comments just a moment ago about adding Krista to the staff, and what is the value of having someone who loves just this university and this program and bringing them back into the fold, and how that just exudes throughout, especially having that familiarity?
Yeah, I think it's huge, and kind of like you said, there's a familiarity, there's a pride, being that it's the school that you came from, and Krista, she's done it all in our program. We were just at camp the last 2 weeks, and when we do staff introductions in our arena, after she would introduce herself, all of our players would be like, look, and her jersey is retired and up in the rafters. And so someone who has done it, she can relate with these players and help them do what she did at Washington, I think is really motivating and exciting. And we're glad she's back.
Yeah, I know both you players, you go through summer workouts, but what has it been like to add her to the staff so far, the pride that she has for Washington?
I think for me as an outside hitter, just having someone to look up to that did the things that you want to do, and just being able to have a role model with you every step of the way, every single day, every single play, every single game is just really important, growth-wise, and having someone to lean on as well. And then also in the weight room, she really motivates me to, keep doing better, keep pushing myself, and trying to be the best person that I can be.
I'm really grateful for her. She's a great player, obviously, but she's also a great human, which really fits into our culture. And to have her around, literally means the world. She is such a hard worker, tough nut, big softie, I'm gonna say. But she has all the qualities that we need in order to be a successful team, and she just adds so much more to our program and is gonna help us build even more.
Lee, right here.
Lee Feinstock from 900 square feet. 2 questions for Leslie. The first is your schedule. It looks really interesting, and must have been a hard one to put together with the different levels of competition and places you play.
Yeah, When we sat down as a staff, we were super excited about the team that we have going into this season. And one thing we wanted to do is make sure that we had some tests, and we have actually a lot of tests. We go into Colorado and we play Colorado State in northern Colorado, and then the next weekend it doesn't get any easier, and the next weekend same thing. And we just wanted to make sure that we got all the information that we needed on our team to help get us ready for conference. And so that was what our decisions were when we looked at our preseason conference.
Along those lines, the coaches picked you 8th. Is that a fair assessment?
I'm sorry?
The coaches picked you 8th in the league. Is that a fair assessment of your team and where you should be?
I think so, yeah. And then we'll see what happens when it's over.
Leslie, the NCAA gave a waiver for moving up the start of practice. How did that affect your plans, student athletes' plans, and what was your kind of reaction when they allowed you to start practices earlier?
Yeah, our conference let us know when the waiver was going to go through. And once I found out, it was right before the girls took off for the summer. And so I had told them in our last team meeting, I said, hey, I just want you to know that there's this waiver that's going through the paces. And if it gets passed, we will start early. And so these are the possible dates of when we could start, so that they kind of knew how to plan it. Some of our girls I know had things planned, and they had to go back to their families and let them know, hey, we got to make some changes. Obviously it passed, and once it did, and they actually knew too, because the day I found out, it seemed to be the same day they found out. There was text messages coming through saying, hey, you said if it was gonna pass, we'd start early. So I let them know that we're gonna get going on the 2nd of August, and everyone was excited and ready to go.
I did plan on playing 6-man in SoCal, but I mean, I could always do that another year, so it's not like life ending, but
Yeah, I was just at home, so I just had to cancel my flight, but I'm excited to start earlier because that means I get more practice in for the year.
Coach, I wanted to ask, coming into the second year of the Big Ten, you guys started 13-0 last season. What were some of your biggest lessons or takeaways that you want to bring into this year now that you've kind of got that grounding, that footing of when you're in the conference?
Yeah, kind of like I said, we as a team learned a lot, but I think we as a staff learned a lot. I thought that going into preseason and the beginning of play last year, our team got into some really good routines that helped us improve and get better each day we were in the gym. And as you know, once school starts, which for us is in late September, schedules got a little busy, film watching maybe happened less just because, and then travel happened. And so our routines kind of changed, and I remember addressing that with the team late in the year. And so that's one thing for me going into this year. I want to make sure that we have routines that can last through the whole season. Once school starts, can we keep those same routines? Once we start traveling, can we keep those same routines? And maybe they're a little bit different, but they don't take drastic dips. I think another learning thing for me as a coach was just, in the season, there's always a point where rest is just way more important than training. And I felt like I started that process a little too soon with our team, and so we didn't make as much. We could have maybe made more progress if I would have pushed that window a little bit later. And so those are two things that I think about going into next year, after going through a year of what travel looks like in the Big Ten and what our girls can handle, for us. And so those are two things.
Kierstyn, I want to ask you about starting the Athlete Diaries podcast, about what your message is, the discussions that you want to have, and why you felt like your voice was important in those discussions.
Yeah, well, I started the Athlete Diaries just because I was going through a tough time my sophomore year, just dealing with a bunch of different things, personal issues, injuries, playing ability, confidence, just all of it was all at once. And when I went to the BSA summit and started talking to people, that was end of spring, just talking about my experience and sharing content ideas and my passion for content. I was I could totally merge the two. and bring it together with a podcast. And I love talking, so I was like, why not? So just like put that together and just basically showing athletes that it's okay to, have like hardships and have things going on, but it's about how you move about the situation that really matters, like leaning on your teammates, leaning on your coaches, family, trying to find the help that you need and not taking it so internal and personal, because everyone is dealing with something at the end of the day, and like talking about it, advocating for yourself is really what makes you get better at the end of the day. And I really want to show athletes like this is how you do it, and like these are other stories. Not every single person has the same story, but they do have the same outcome of getting on the other side and becoming a better person out of it, which is what I love to share. So yeah, that's a little about my podcast.
And Coach, how does that make you feel when you have a player who wants to be a leader in that space and lead these conversations and really putting her voice to something that is meaningful to her?
I think that's great. I think as a coach, you want to help develop your players to feel empowered to do those things. I'm grateful that she's able to be vulnerable enough to share her stories. I know nowadays, especially with like TikTok and Instagram, everyone wants to put their best foot forward and show that, and to show that, hey, I do have bad days. I do have days that are hard. I do have great days too. And these are the things that help me in this space, and I think are great, because I think a lot of people want to see how other people are doing it, and are also to just know that, hey, they're normal, that other people are going through what they are. So I think that's awesome that she's doing that.
Thanks.
Leslie, how has the house settlement affected how you're running the program, and kind of the fallout with that?
Yeah, obviously this is an exciting time in athletics with the house settlement, and just grateful with the opportunities that the University of Washington is giving our program. And as far as how it changes my program, it doesn't change anything. Volleyball is still volleyball. We have to come in every day, work hard. We have to be disciplined. We have to do all these things. I think the house settlement brings just blessings to people, and we just have to remember that, because I think if you don't, it can end up being a distraction, and then we lose sight of why we play this game, and what is really important in my eyes.
Just to follow up on that, we've been hearing from players throughout today just about their thoughts of navigating this, and I'm sure you hear a lot about it, and it goes up the rung, but how that's affecting you guys as well.
Yeah, I think being able to have the opportunity to, have blessings like that, I think that's really cool, and it only propels women's sports in an upward trajectory, and I think that's really cool. And not everyone can say that they played Big Ten volleyball, and I think for those people that did or have done that, I think the house settlement does help with the exposure and being able to talk about it, and also representing people of color, white people, and different races, different ethnicities, being able to share your experience through that is really important.
I'm very grateful. I feel like this is a great opportunity for all student athletes, but it doesn't really affect me or the team. I always put team first, so anything below that or any outside distractions, I just like to focus on the team I have at hand and trying to win games for the program.
Questions for the Huskies? All right, one more, Lincoln, and then down in the corner.
Leslie, can you talk about your grad transfers too? You bring in a new set, what's that integration been like too, and then also bringing Alexa in from Penn State. Why did you want to go the route of grad transfers, and what are they adding so far?
Yeah, when we looked at our roster and what our needs were, obviously graduating Amani Bush and Maddie Ensley, and Audra Wilmus, some girls who brought some offensive power, we needed to do that and bring in some other people with good arms. And so Alexa Markley obviously entered in as a grad transfer, and she was someone that just fit what our needs were. And luckily, she felt that we were a program that felt what met her needs too. And then as far as a setter, Taylor Simpson, we knew going into this year we wanted to make our offense more dynamic. You know, we felt that we ran an offense that was a little on the slower end, and so we wanted to speed it up. She's been a setter at Colorado, running their offense pretty fast, and so we knew right away that, hey, this could be another good fit for our program. So it was basically just looking at what our needs are, what we wanted to try to do this season, and who was available and out there. Did I answer both sides of your question? Okay.
Tedrick with the volleyball project. I want to get your take on what have you guys been doing since you've been here, and what do you think of the Big Ten Media Day, the whole setup and things like that?
First time being here, and I think so far it has exceeded my expectations. Like the dinner yesterday, oh my gosh, I've never had such good food, and like the salmon was my favorite.
That says a lot. We're from Seattle, where seafood is like in abundance.
Yes, and like you can get seafood anywhere in Seattle, so it's saying a lot. And I don't know, just like the people here are very welcoming. It's not like rivalry at all. It's more like we're all one big conference, and we're here to support each other.
Yeah, I agree with Kierstyn. I think this is an amazing experience. Like, this is my first time also, and I, get to meet new people, see new faces, and just have the opportunity to like have big things like this go on, like make some TikToks. I don't do that like on my own time. So just like getting the experience of meeting all these people is really fun.
And like from someone who played in the Pac-12 their first year, like they would not do this. Like this is like this is cool. I don't know.
Any last questions for the Huskies? All right. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. Thank you guys.